All right guys, welcome back. So what I'm going to talk to you today about is quite a big one, and it represents probably, so far anyway, the ultimate chase for us in terms of accessories. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory on the Pressol and exactly why it's within our range. So pretty much from the start, when we started Car Care brand, we knew that we had to have somewhere down the line and in the timeline of the brand a professional grade mixing bottle. Now between the start and as of last week really, what we've been doing is we've been trialing literally every option on the market. So we, of course, as you've seen, we've had our 500ml bottles, which you see over there, with our spray triggers, which I still believe are the best trigger money can buy for a standard bottle. Again, you've got the range anywhere between 2p triggers from China, which are mass produced. The leak, the spray patterns aren't exactly there, and you've got all the way onto our triggers where they're Italian made. Again, they are mass produced, but with Italian finesse. Now, for that trigger itself, they are probably, in fact, I know that they're the most expensive trigger that you can buy for a sprayable 500ml product. So what we did is we took our empty 500ml PET bottle, we put our trigger on, which again is fantastic, and we sold that as the entry level mixing bottle. Now, from then on, what we did is we bought in 1000ml kind of square shoulder PET bottles to try and introduce that as like a bigger variant. We then trialed Pressol, Quasar, and IK. Now those three are pretty much what people know about. Now the first two variants, easily attainable, everybody can get them in, and to be honest, they are nowhere near the level that the Prezls are at. So what we decided to do about 9 months ago is we contacted Pressol, which are based out of Germany, and we basically said, look, we want to have not your whole range. We do not want to be a seller of Pressol, because don't forget, Pressol technically as a brand, they deal with lubricants, oils, a lot of farm stuff, so extraction of oil or the pumping in of oil. So if you go and have a look at their website, they actually have quite a lot of heavy duty stuff, which again, one, I'm not interested in, and two, it's got nothing to do with car care really. Now, in typical style of Germans, they odd everywhere. We went backwards and forwards. Again, in between the emails, there was quite a long soak period. Weeks, 2 weeks, sometimes even a month was the longest one. And we thought, there's no way. Now, they came back to us and they obviously tried to bounce us back to a UK importer. Now, there's a handful of UK importers, but then again, if you go and do your due diligence, those importers are a jack of all trades. I mean, you can go into their website and you can literally have farming stuff, car mechanical stuff, and about 4 other kind of industry kind of segments, which again, we don't want to deal with the reseller because we want to go direct to the source. We want the quality control. We don't want to touch in any other hands. Now again, being completely transparent, and as they say, honoring the source, my good friend Matt from Obsessed Garage in Florida, what I did is, again, to support him, and again, he's the one who led me on. I was aware of Pressol prior to this, but then again, he was the first one within our car care kind of world who took the bottle and introduced it properly, and he took it to a level where we obviously saw it in a car care application. So again, to support the man, I could have gone 10 minutes down the road and bought one. No, I imported some from Florida from him. Again, I paid about 17 times as much as I should have because of shipping and import tax. But again, that was my choice. I want to support the man that I truly believe in. And in the kind of, on the flip side, I managed to get some Prezls in. Now, again, it's a share and value relationship, however you want to call it. So we got some Prezls off him and we started the testing process. This is 8 months ago, right? at this time, we're testing, and at this time, we're speaking to Pressol. So again, Prezl said, again, I wrote them, you would have never seen this email, it's massive. And I offered them all the pros, obviously our reseller network, our international seller network, which is where really kind of our forte is. We've got the Middle East with one hell of a guy. We've got Southern Europe, which again, now is tying into Northern Europe with one hell of a guy. So he's got a sub network, and Egypt and the Middle East are starting to actually have his sub network, but within the Porsche dealerships as well, which is actually really kind of cool. I'll touch on that on another video. So I told them the dream. This is where I want to be at. This is what we're currently doing. Everything's documented, again, as you can see on camera. So they eventually said yes. And what we've come to is we've come straight to the manufacturer. We've got a huge quality control kind of advantage over everybody else. We have a dedicated account manager now, which is actually quite cool because I don't deal with anybody else now. I deal with one guy. He's cool, by the way, Lucas. I hope you're watching this. So anyway, we are now officially with Pressol. Now, I truly believe, before I'll give you some close-ups, that these bottles, pound for pound, are the best money can buy. One, the aesthetics of the bottles are different, okay? They look absolutely beautiful. Now, they have their advantages in their own ways, which I'm going to touch on in a minute. But I mean, my personal favorite is the Household. This is the one that we initially fell in love with. It just looks beautiful. Some company finally on our level of thinking has decided, you know what, I'm not just going to do a HDP bottle in a round shape, like a square shoulder or a Boston shoulder, and I'm just going to say, there you go, here's a mixing bottle, pay 10 quid for it. This company is clearly paid for molds. Now again, because we deal with MTM, we know how much molding costs cost. We know how much trial and error. I mean, this bottle may have taken hundreds of attempts to make, a lot of wastage. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the chase. Now, again, Pressol were playing hard to get with us, which again is understandable. When people approach us to resell our products, we have 74 hurdles to jump through. If you miss one hurdle, you're out. So I appreciated it, but then again, I think we're going to exchange some serious value between Germany and us. So what we did is we took a trial order. It was quite a large trial order. I say trial, but again, it wasn't what I wanted to order, only because I do not know yet what the UK market is going to kind of bite with, who are not going to kind of bite as much. So I ordered 3 of what I think is going to be the top hitting bottles, my favorites. Again, I trialed these all first. Now, again, my business model is I only sell what I like, and then by proxy, you and some sort of kind of small segment of the market will also like, because again, there are kind of similarities in the pools of people. So my favorite is definitely the Household. Again, the design, 1, 2, you can actually see the liquid in. Again, that's not really a selling point, because again, if you actually hold the industrials up against the light, you can actually see like a fill line. To be honest, the version 2.0 bottles that we're going to develop with Pressol will probably have some sort of fill line there anyway. But again, baby steps, guys. It's going to take us a lot of time, money, a lot of orders. We have to prove to them what we're worth. Of course, I can't come in and say start redesigning the bottles, but eventually. So, like I was saying, I believe that this is the best bottle on the market, bottle-wise only. You then add in a trigger, which again, it absolutely kills and hits over the boundary all the other kind of triggers quite easy. Now, this is a double action trigger, and I'm going to show you in a second what a double action truly means. Now, verbally first, what a double action does, when you spray the bottle, it will mist. When you release the bottle, it will mist. So no matter where you are in the range of your pull, it will continue to release liquid. Now, This is beautiful because you're getting twice the output for half the actual finger paint, let's call it. So when you're doing, say, a citrus application, a wheels application, that again requires quite a lot of liquid, like it'll always keep spraying. That was a bad noise example. So we've got 3 ranges. We've got the household, which is in the 750 ml. We've got the industrial in 2 variants. We've got industrial at 1,000 milliliter, and 750 milliliters. So again, you will be able to see a clear size difference in the bottles, this one being 1,000. Now, a few of the tech specs. The household, again, all these bottles are HDPE, right? So it will hold anywhere from a pH 2 to a pH 14 million. That's not a problem. Now, the triggers are slightly different. What Pressol are saying, the household is not designed for harsh chemicals. So you know, if you're going to be putting acids through it or heavy alkalis constantly, household's not for you. It's more of the industrial. So if I was to, for example, unscrew this, what I love about this though, as standard, the industrial triggers actually come with a weighted trigger. So if you can hear that, it's got an actual weight. So this is the weighted part of the trigger, which means, as you can see, no matter where the bottle is in the range, it will continue to bend. So these come as standard on both the 1,000 and 750 mils. And then of course on the households, you've got the standard dip tube, which is always straight. So it looks like this. And also, as an addition, what I will always say is, guys, do not forget that the trigger part itself is a consumable. It is rated for so many tens of thousands of pumps, 1. 2, those pumps get reduced per the harshness of chemical that you use. So for example, if a trigger is rated for, say, 20,000 pulls, and you start putting wheel acid neath, it might reduce it down to 10,000 pulls. So when your trigger eventually dies, what we've done is we've actually bought in replacement triggers, which are also on the website. Again, but we are offering these in 2 variants, 750 ml and 1,000 ml. So obviously the dip tube will reach all the way down to here, and it will reach on both of these bottles too. So when your trigger dies, because you've used it well, it's time for it to go up to trigger heaven. Just go and buy another one. It is a consumable. Same thing with the couplers. Eventually, no matter how many times you pull a coupler, it will eventually die. Hopefully it's not going to happen for the next 10 years, but eventually you will have to. The same thing like on cars, brakes, suspension, all these type of things are a wear and tear item, especially when you continue doing this. Now I'm going to pull you a few of my Pressol bottles and I'm going to show you exactly what I have within them. Now I've got a manner of things. Pressol number 1, again, household. As you can see, I've got the wheel cleaner in here. You can see the perfect fill level. If you're starting to run low, you can top it up, not a problem, beautiful. Then in here, what I've got actually is our V2 dress, so I can actually directly spray it onto our applicator pad, like this. Now, again, this is undiluted, and this sprays beautifully. It's like a creamy texture to it. Now, if you are doing engine bays, or you are doing kind of interior work, and you want to dress your interior, and you knock this down, so again, 5-to-1, 20-to-1, you will get a fantastic spray pattern. It's very nice. I've got, again, Drynade, my detail spray. It's lovely. As you can see, look. Ooh. So, pull, pull. Beautiful. My floor is now going to be super slick. And then, of course, in here, I have got my glass cleaner that I use, again, on glass. And then I wipe down all our cabinetry with the YumGlass, so it's super easy to keep spraying it. Now in here, the big bottle, I've got citrus. Now again, I can see it. My floor's starting to become super slick. I don't know if you can, I know in real life I can see that, but when I just hold it up, and I don't even mean to like normal light, I can see the fill levels here. So I've got citrus in the 1,000 liter, Industrial. The reason I've gone for the 1000 is because, again, citrus on the lower third of the car, door arches, door jambs, all that sort of stuff, it requires a little bit more liquid. So rather than filling it up more, I just have the 1000 litre. And then in here, again, industrial, I've got my undress in there. So if you watched, in fact, that video hasn't been released yet, but when that video comes, I talk about that I actually put a full 500 ml of undress in here, and then the other 220 ml without overspilling it. I put water. The reason I do this with the undress is because, again, it's the thickest sprayable liquid that we have. So I just want to give it that little bit more easier kind of spray pattern when you're doing ties and arches. Now, again, I'm going to come in close and I'm going to show you the truly beautiful design. So obviously you've got these fantastic ribs on both sides, so 1 and 2, and then you've got the 2 flat sides. You've of course got the famous embossed logo of the Pressol there. Now the triggers, again, you can fully adjust the trigger, so if you do it all the way left, it will be a stream, or if you do it all the way right, it will be the tightest spray pattern kind of going. But just the ergonomics of the trigger, I mean, I've got big hands. Now look, beautiful. You can use it 1 finger, 2, 3, 4, however you want really, but it just looks so slick. And then the same with industrial. Now industrial has a bit of a beak on it, which means you can actually lean it forward a little bit. So it gives you that easier thing if you're working from heights. Again, the trigger is a slightly different color, just to designate that it's going on a industrial. And again, you know exactly who you're dealing with when you see that name. Now guys, I'm going to prophesize the future. What am I going to do with the Pressol bottles? Like I've already said, again, in the future, we might have the scope to approach Germany and start speaking about the V2, V3 bottles. I would love to be part of the design team on that one. Same thing like with MTM. I've already kind of prophesized that with them as well. Hopefully I'll be included within the PF23 testing and design stages. Who knows? I might just get it, again, because we're the sole people in the UK who kind of have them. So my feedback will be crucial, and hopefully the same thing will be with the Pressols. Now, what I really want to do is, when I'm starting to look towards the end of the vision will never end, but in the latter stages of the vision, how quickly that gets executed, I'm yet to kind of tell you a time frame. But what I would love to do with the Pressols is, in fact, this is a perfect example. Imagine you have a beautiful shelf in your home garage or in your place of work, for example. Imagine you're a detailer or a valeter, but I'm mainly talking about a beautiful garage that you can sleep in. You have a beautiful shelf and you line up all the Pressols on the wall, and I would love to have a custom, again, Matt has inspired me with this. I want to have a beautiful, like a matte black, satin black, I don't know, with, again, because we have gold foil, real gold foil on our labels. Imagine satin with like gloss gold foil designating the product. Obviously you're going to see the product on the fills here. And you can have your amazing Pressol bottles on a shelf. You can straight away tell what they are. The label is going to really enhance the bottle experience. It's not going to give you any more usage out the bottle, but just looking at it, it's going to be amazing. So I am now actually in talks with my label designers. I've sent them a couple of these anyway, so they can start playing like with the templates. But these are going to be the same people who make our kind of chemical range. And again, this might take me a week, this might take me 7 months. I do not yet know. But eventually, when we start kitting out garages, we've already slowly started to kind of move in that direction. We've had people who've had custom built garages, and they're now asking us, where do you get your Swiss tracks? Where do you get your cabinets from? So rather than kind of telling people you need to go there, but he's got bad customer service. You've got to go there, he's out of stock. We're going to eventually start doing it all here. So everything you see in this garage will be for sale, including walls and stuff like that. But we're still a little bit off that kind of dream and vision. But that is the Pressol dream for me, is to have a beautiful set of Pressols for every application, because once again, I want it. So if I want it, you will probably want it too, like the proper hardcore supporters of me and Kelly. So that is the Pressol, guys. Our launch weekend went super successful. We literally probably cleared 2 pallets in 2 days. It was mad. The team were just packing boxes everywhere and there was an absolute carnage. But again, now people have started to get them. People are starting to use them because the weather's still nice here in September. And yeah, guys, if you're going to take anything away from this video, just take my word that this bottle, once you use it, is a different level to anything that you've ever used. It's a professional mixing bottle. It's a professional holding bottle. So like stuff like detail spray, ceramics, something that you don't need to mix. It just dispenses the chosen liquid in a way that you've never seen before. And the fact that they look like a designer has designed them, like a proper luxury brand, is also a bonus. So just trust me on this. This bottle will literally give you so much joy. It's given me joy already because, again, I wash so many cars. But anyway, apart from that, hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you've enjoyed my little mad obsession over some plastic bottles. However, you will love them. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate the madly stupid support that you always give me. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Cheers.